Hi, how are you? I hope everyone is all good. Post and complex post-traumatic stress awareness month. So this is part 3 of the things you can do in the here and now to help yourself. And for me, they're kind of the building blocks that underpin everything else. The main thing you should be doing is going for help with a trauma-informed coach or trauma-informed therapist. Doing these things alone is not likely to cure your trauma. They will all make you feel better. Each of the ones that you bring in, one after the another, I'm not doing this again, will begin to improve things ever so slightly, but it takes consistency. I'm going to keep nailing that point home. It needs to be very, very consistent, along with your diet, your meditating. We know that exercise is good for us physically. We know that it reduces stress levels when it's consistent, okay? So therefore, a condition that is heavily stress related, it's going to benefit, but you're going to need to do more consistently. This doesn't mean going from nothing to a 10-mile run or attempting to lift massive amounts of weights when you haven't before, or you've not done it for a very long time. It just means getting your body moving again. Things such as walking, cycling, running, weight work, swimming, all really, really good. But you can also consider other things like yoga, Tai Chi. If you don't feel that you can go into group settings such as a gym or a swimming pool, then there are plenty of home workouts that you can look up online. Maybe you've got a set of weights in the garage. He's pointing to his garage because they've been in there for quite some time, but I have a very physical job. You might have an exercise bike, a rowing machine, a treadmill. There's something you can do at home. If you don't have those things, as I've said, there's YouTube stuff, and you can follow workouts that don't use any weights or any equipment. Okay, so there's lots of stuff you can do. It gives you back a sense of control. You're doing something, because when you're experiencing trauma, a loss of control is a big part of it. Yeah, that is a big part of what led you to the point of experiencing the trauma symptoms. Okay, so you're taking back some semblance of control over yourself. It also helps you regulate your nervous system somewhat, especially rhythmic stuff. That's very, very useful. It brings back in alignment, even if it's for a short while. It must be consistent over time. You're not going to see immediate results. Aha, I'm not getting the neurogenic tremors because I worked out once. Doesn't work like that. And I'm going to stress again, you must be working with a trauma-informed coach and therapist. But the things I've spoken about in this video and the previous ones all will help. And you can do that prior to you going to a therapist or waiting for your appointment. But maintain these things whilst you're going through your coaching, therapy, whatever it is. Okay, it is really useful. It must be consistent, and you must use it in conjunction with the things I've already spoken about and other things that I'll be talking about in the future after we get to the big one, which is sleep, which will be the next video. I was at a point 2016, 2017, denying I had trauma, but studying it, and I'd seen that exercise and diet were two of the things that could help. I was ignoring the therapy thing because why would I need therapy if I can't have trauma, eh? Despite knowing I did. It's a very complicated condition. So I was exercising every single day, a couple of mile run, brisk walk to work and back. My diet had improved significantly after I got away from the situation I was in 2015. And I couldn't work out why I was still getting nightmares, why I was shaking, why I was hypervigilant, why I was still suicidal, etc., 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 why I was dissociated. All of the symptoms were still there. Okay, I wasn't doing enough. I was cherry picking what I wanted to do whilst I was still avoiding facing up to the fact that I had this condition. There's no shame in developing this condition, okay? Look it up for yourselves. There's so much information out there. It does reduce stress levels, even if it's for a short period of time, because with trauma stuff, the adrenaline and the cortisol is going to come back in at some point. The whole point of doing this stuff is to begin to reduce those levels, and doing that along with therapy and any other good stuff, enjoyable stuff that you can think of, that is going to be beneficial to you. Not the self-medicating that we all did, all of us. Oh yeah, I enjoy a pint. Then over time, because particularly if it's complex post-traumatic stress, it's a long process. Okay. Exercise also encourages your immune system, which gets closed down in times of stress. Your sympathetic nervous system, your fight, flight, freeze, fawn response shuts that down. Okay, it shuts down your rest and digest system, because in a time of crisis, life or death, which is how the amygdala interprets even what has gone on in the past. It doesn't view it as the past, it views it as happening in the here and now. Everything else is through the roof, so minor things that wouldn't normally affect you are going to be setting things off, and your system will respond accordingly. Over time, all of these things will begin to regulate this stuff and bring those levels down, and you will, if you put the work in, get to a point where you can become trauma response free. If you're struggling, you must reach out. Have a good day. The next one's going to be about sleep. Okay? See you later.